Welcome to our performance centre once again here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. My name's Ryan Rastall. I'm the PGA professional here at Howley Hall Golf Club and also the equipment expert for Golfshake.com. Today we have brand new offerings from Cobra. We have the King Limited X range of drivers that we're going to put through its paces and tell you a little bit about the technology as well. So let's go and have a look. So to start with, let's have a bit of a chat about the technology of these drivers. So limited stands for longest total distance. So this is something that Cobra are trying to accomplish with the design and looking at the way it's weighted, as well as certain other performance aspects that have been refined from some of the technologies that we've seen before. So the PWRCOR technology is multi-layer weighting that each of these heads has in them. You can see this little silver part of the head there just towards the leading edge. So that's a 19 gram internal weight, which is both steel and tungsten in there to really optimize the CG location in the head and also help with some of the weighting, kind of the discretionary weighting that they've had to actually play around with in this head due to it being 30% more carbon fibre in both the sole and the crown there as well. So the construction is slightly different and 30% lighter, or 30% more, sorry, carbon compared to last year's Rad Speed model has allowed more weight to be moved around in the head, which really helps the designers at Cobra to make this product both more forgiving, but also we can play around with it as well so that we get faster ball speeds. We can work on the aerodynamics of the head, which is something we'll get onto a little bit later as well. But the weighting of it and where the weighting is positioned is obviously very, very important. Now, the hot face technology, this is something we have seen from Cobra before. So we've got 15 hot zones on the face. I remember back in the day when I think it was the SZ driver came out, and that was a long time ago. There were 9, now there's 15 on the face. So basically making this club face more forgiving, but in a way that if we don't hit the middle of the face, we still maintain ball speed and CT away from the centre. And that's what the hot zones is really aiming to do, increasing that smash factor when we don't strike the middle of the club face. And who doesn't want that? The hot face technology is also, HOT stands for highly optimized topology, and basically what that is the way that the face is contoured on the inside of the head there. So making sure that there are hot zones on the face when we don't strike the middle. And what I mean by that is Cobra have done lots of testing and they've used AI to design these and really show where the majority of golfers do miss the middle of the face. So whether it might be a higher handicapper might miss it higher out the toe, or a better player might be more out the heel. There's certain thicknesses within the face that change in order to make sure that the ball speed is better when you don't strike the middle of it. And like I say, it's all dependent on the type of golfer that each individual model is aimed at. So we'll get into the models in a second, but all of these technologies we've just spoken about are throughout the entire range here. So we've got the PWRCOR technology, that 19 gram internal weight, that is present in all of them. Now, the weighting is slightly different in all the models, and as you can see here, there are weights in different places, and the heads are slightly different sizes and shapes as well. So let's talk through them all individually. So what we're going to start with is the XLS model. So XLS is, LS is the lowest spinning one. So this is the best in terms of its aerodynamics. So it's ever so slightly smaller head, and when I say smaller, it's 3 cc smaller, so it's hardly anything really. But you can see on here that the weighting is more front in this driver, so it's more towards the face. So that low spin model, moving the CG around the head as well, so making this launch slightly lower and spin slightly less than the other models. Now, when we then move into the kind of middle of the range here, so we've got the King Limited driver, you can see there the weight is further back, so enhancing the launch capabilities. MOI is a little bit higher in here as well, but we've also got obviously the adjustability in all these models that Cobra allows you with the loft sleeve that they have, in terms of the draw kind of bias and changing loft as well. And then we move on to the Limited X Max model, which you can see now there is a weight now in the heel to make this more draw bias should you wish to do that. So we're going to see the highest launch out of this model, this one kind of middle of the range there, and then we've got the LS, which is obviously the lowest spinning and launching of the three. So that's a lot of technology crammed into these drivers, and obviously with the three different models there, it's going to suit a vast array of golfers. You know, gone are the days where one head fits all. Manufacturers know that they have to design different heads within their product lines to suit the mass market, and I'm going to put them to the test now. We're going to hit some on the Trackman here in the room. I'm going to put the same shaft in all three of these heads and really give you a good idea as to how the models differ when we look at one, where the shots are going in terms of dispersion, but also distance as well, because I'm expecting the low spin head to probably perform the best for me, because generally that's what I've done throughout my life, is I've spun the ball a lot with the driver, so anything that can get that down is obviously of a benefit to me. I'm expecting the standard Limited X to probably be pretty close, but maybe not quite as low spin and maybe not quite the distance that I get with the XLS. I'd expect the Max to go a little bit left for me, because that's generally my bad shot anyway, and this is probably going to enhance that a touch. But let's put them to the test. You never know. We'll go and hit them on the Trackman and see exactly how they perform. So as you've just seen there, I've hit all three of these different models of driver, and the stats on the Trackman kind of back up what we thought beforehand. So the Max model that we hit, you can see the spin is very, very high, which is killing the distance. You know, the club head speed between all three of them was pretty similar, but we can see the Max, the spin is right up there, and certainly that's what's killing the distance a bit for me. But that's pretty much what it's designed to do. You know, I've got these ones I've been sent to test are all in 10.5 degrees. Now I have lofted them all down as much as I can, so that 1.5 degrees that this allows you to do down to that 9, but the driver that I would generally use is 7, so the numbers I'm seeing are a little bit higher in terms of launch and spin than what I would expect, but certainly the Max was very much that way. And to be honest, across this whole product range, I found them fairly spinny, but particularly when you didn't strike the middle of the face, the spin really jumped on me. So the Max felt great, looked great. When we tried the standard Limited X, we can see there a little bit better in terms of the spin, a little bit more distance there. But really, when we tried the lower spin model, which was what I said at the start was probably going to be the one that suited me, and it certainly did. So even down at 9 degrees, we can see there the distance that I'm getting, and also the spin was a bit more under control, the ball speed was slightly better, and that's all coming from pretty similar club head speed and strikes. You can see I've hit one there that's gone a little bit left, nearly out of bounds there on the 18th at St Andrews, which is pretty much impossible to do, but But yeah, I think dispersion-wise, they're all pretty similar. You can just see with the LS that I'm getting that little bit more distance. So it'd be great to try this in a 9 or an 8 degree that I could knock down. So the LS is available in both 9 and 10.5, like the one I've got here. And then the X and the X Max are available in 9, 10.5 and 12. So we can get that higher loft should you really need that as well. The one thing I would say, looking at the drivers, that I think is an improvement on rad speed is when you actually look down on them, you can't see that infinity face creeping over the top of the driver there, and that was one thing I thought with rad speed that didn't look particularly nice, and they've kind of addressed that, stopped doing that, so the leading edge looks a little bit better, but that infinity face does carry on around the sole and the kind of leading edge of the driver down the bottom there, so they've still got that technology in there, meaning that when it's manufactured, it's a lot more precise, and the golf club that we end up with is the loft that it says that it should be by using that CNC milling that they do on the face. Now, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've loved testing them, as I do all the products we get sent, and particularly this time of the year when we're just bombarded with new stuff and there's marketing spiel everywhere that you guys no doubt either trust or don't. But yeah, these drivers do exactly what they say they should do. I will definitely try them in a slightly lower loft when I get my fitting cart, which will probably be in the next couple of weeks, I would imagine. But all in all, I think they are an improvement on rad speed, both in looks and also the performance I'm getting. When I hit the rad speed one last year, I didn't quite get what I'm getting with this. And the feel off the face is very, very good as well. But don't just take my word for it. Make sure you go and get fitted. If you're going to try a driver this year, whether it's a Cobra or any of the other brands that we've covered so far on our equipment reviews, go and get custom fitted. The service is generally free most of the time. The brands want you to go and get custom fitted to make sure you have the right product for you. And I certainly wouldn't step out on a golf course if I wasn't confident the equipment that I had was made to my spec. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you want to see loads more content from us here at Golfshake, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. See loads more from us to help you play more and play better.